What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another BFR. So today we got Game 52 versus the Florida Panthers, which happened at 2 p.m. yesterday. I was away the whole day, so I didn't watch the game till later yesterday night. And so now I get to review it. So Hawks lose 5-2. It's 3-2 with two empty netters. They moved to 18, 26, and 8, and they came out and played a damn good game against Florida, I will say. February 20th at 2 p.m., the game was played. Fleury saves 20 out of 23. Bobrovsky saves 22 out of 24. And shots were 25-24 Florida. Hits were 30-24 Florida. Faceoffs were 35-27 Florida. Chicago is 0 for 4 on the power play. Maybe 1 for 4. It really depends on what source you see. Florida 0 for 1. And the refereeing in this league is just getting worse and worse. And this time it wasn't just the Hawks game. If you watched the Hockey Guys review today, you would have seen the amount of times he questioned the refs reviewing stuff and why they were reviewing stuff. Well, today it was pretty much the same with the Hawks game. The Hawks have the jump early. Good save, Florian Verhaeghe. 18-13 Florida penalty to Marchment for tripping, which would be killed. The Florida had a shorthanded 2-on-1 shorthanded, which was blocked by Seth Jones. Verhaeghe was high sticked. There was no call. 14:09 Florida penalty to Gudas for roughing, which was a cross check to Hagel in the face, and somehow Hagel ended up getting a penalty for holding the stick, which he did not. And so yeah, that was already step number 1 of how to suck. And Florida looks not right early on in the game. They didn't have the top offensive force in the game push. Gudas was hit. Gudas had a good hit on Hagel after the penalty. Bobrovsky was kind of, how do I say, Bobrovsky had a mediocre night. I mean, he saved everything he needed to save, but all the bad shots seemed to go in for him, and that's what we're going to get to. Bobrovsky had a great save on Kubalik. 3:27 Florida goal to Aaron Ekblad, his 13th of the season from Marchment and Reinhart, makes it 1-0. Hawks were dominating the shots. It was 12-3 by the end of the first, or 11-3. I couldn't really tell. They controlled much of the first, and at 31.1 seconds left in the period, Chicago goal from Patrick Kane, his 13th of the season, from McCabe. The weird thing is, it was from behind Florida's net. It was from behind the goal line, the red line, that's in line with the net. And Kane banks it off Bobrovsky and such a weird goal. Now in the second period, Florida was waking up 5 minutes in, and Duclair had some chances that looked pretty dangerous, and at 12:30, it's a Florida goal from Brandon Montour, his 5th of the season, from Barkov and Huberdeau. An absolute snipe off the left post and into the back of the net. Fleury never saw it. It was a great shot. And then the Hawks were pressuring halfway through to no avail. DeHaan had a good hit on Marchment. 7-on-1 Florida penalty to Marchment for tripping again, which would be killed. It was just as good as the original power play that the Hawks had, a.k.a. bad. And so yeah, DeHaan lays the hit on Marchment, and at 48.7, it's Chicago penalty. DeHaan which was served by Strome for interference. It was not interference. Then at 48.7, a fight breaks out on that same play. It's a Chicago penalty to DeHaan and Florida penalty to Reinhart, both for fighting. Those are 5 minutes each. But on the play, Marchment whacked Reichel as DeHaan hit him. DeHaan hit him, so he was on the ice. Then he whacks Reichel in the back of the leg. No penalty whatsoever. Reinhart instigated the fight. He gets no penalty. Yet DeHaan, who laid a good and solid and clean hit on Marchment, gets the penalty. How do you justify this? How do you look at yourself and say, I'm a good referee when you do this? And anyway, but at 28.5 seconds to go in the period, so 20 seconds later, Florida takes a penalty to make it 4-on-4. It's Ekblad for holding, and he tries to argue the call. It was pretty clear he was holding Lafferty's stick. His legs were literally tied around Lafferty's stick, and Lafferty's looking like, come on, someone look at me, he's not letting go. And Ekblad's like, what do you mean? Honestly, like, the amount of BS that Florida put on tonight was incredible. DeHaan then had a good hit on Zahan was in the locker room. Reinhardt was in the locker room. And we go to the third. It was 4-4 to start the third. Then at 19:10, it's a Florida goal from Mackenzie Weegar, his 5th of the season, from Barkov and Verhaeghe to make it 3-1. So 50 seconds into the third, it's 3-1. It deflected off Doc, and Doc looked up at the sky like, oh my gosh. And Fleury, great mentorship by him. He brings Doc, he talks to Doc. He's like, it's fine, we'll get the next one. Fleury's one of those veterans. He doesn't hold any grudges, and he was meant. You see that mentorship to Doc, and that's something that the Hawks have needed. And with Tays out, they need other guys to step up, and Fleury's doing that great, it looks like. So Fleury, some good saves to start. Then at 12:05, it's a Florida goal to Anthony Duclair, which was a one-timer snipe. Great goal. However, it was offside, and Chicago challenged it, and it was reviewed after Chicago challenges it, and it did determine that it was offside. So good job by the Hawks video crew to get that one. Then at 9:22, we have a Florida penalty to Galvis for interference, which would be killed, but it was an amazingly stupid play by one of the stupidest and worst players in the game. Gudis, I've never liked. I've wished he was gone from the league. I hate him, and I want him gone. He's one of those guys like Sean Avery that I wish got kicked out of the league. He's a bum. He sucks, and there's nothing good you can say about him other than he can lay a good hit on a player that doesn't have the puck and is easily a penalty. So, yeah, he lays out to break it. Seth Jones goes after him. No penalty to Jones because he never got to him. And, so yeah, it would be killed, but it looked much better. See, and then, depending on what source you say, at 7:22, exactly 2 minutes after the penalty, so it's really an opinion whether if the penalty was killed and then they scored immediately after, or if they scored in the last second of the power play. ESPN, the source I use, says that it was killed, so I went with it was killed. So at 7:22, it's a Chicago goal from Caleb Jones, his 2nd of the season, from DeBrincat and Kane to make it 3-2. Weird angle, bad goal by Bobrovsky to give up, and it snuck through the bottom of his pad, and then Strome whiffed while trying to put it in as well, but it went in anyway, so that was pretty funny to see Strome miss. And then at 5:16, this is what made me lose my mind this game. Marchment leaves his feet while he's coming into contact with Murphy. Murphy goes to hit him. Marchment left his feet, clotheslines, 2 hands, whacks, and cross-checks Murphy all in the face on the same play. Murphy's helmet flies off. He falls to the ice immediately, grabbing his face, and it's like you're wondering if he's bleeding because it was bad. And somehow, no penalty is called. Absolutely unbelievable that no penalty is called, and the announcers can't believe that there is no penalty called. And I already know what the thumbnail is going to be for this video. For anyone who clicks on it, you're going to see what it is, and it's been going around. There were 8 games yesterday. The hockey guy counted at least 3 or 4 that he said there were some clown referee moments that I would call clown. Basically, he's nicer than that. He's nicer than me. The hockey guy is one of the nicest people I know. I don't know him personally, but through just YouTube, you can just tell he's such a great guy. And yeah, he can be calm about it. I cannot. Some of the stuff that you see is just ridiculous. So Hagel and others nearly put it in on a rush. Murphy and McCabe were both in the locker room. McCabe had been injured earlier in the game. Murphy would return. McCabe would not. Then Hawks were getting some good chances, but they just couldn't get it in. Fleury was pulled at 1:58, and at 1:48, it's a Fleury empty net goal from Alexander Barkov, from Huberdeau and Forsling to make it 4-2, the former Blackhawk. A lot of former Blackhawks on Florida, the announcers mentioned. He had Forsling, who started his career in Chicago. Lucas Carlson played a few games. Anthony Duclair played 3 games, but I remember that situation. And pretty sure there's at least one more. Lucas Wallmark is currently maybe on their AHL team. I don't know, but he was traded there. And during the big trade last year, that sent Borgstrom and Connolly to Chicago and sent Wallmark and Carlson, basically a cat move for Florida. So then Fleury was pulled again at 1:15, and at 1:09, it's a Florida empty net goal from their rookie Anton Lundell, his 11th of the season, from Ekblad and Achari, makes it 5-2, and Florida wins 5-2. So Hawks play a pretty good game against Florida, and officiating sucks. That's what we can take away from this. No changes on the standings. Calgary, Colorado, Florida, and Carolina still your leaders. Pittsburgh's a little bit bent out right there. It's really bugging me, their symmetry. But yeah, other than that, that's all I have for you guys today, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.